This is Dr. Stephen Marcus, the visionary and creator of Mbono.net, the spiritual Twitter, and I'm here to show you some more of the exciting things that you can do with Mbono Plus, which is the by subscription paid for part of Mbono. So let's just go over there. And once again, I've logged into Mbono using my Twitter account, and I've gone to the Plus section. And let's scroll down a little bit. We're going to be in this Followers tab that we were looking at in the last module, and we'll see a little summary of how many people we're following, how many people are following us back. And last time we looked at searching for more possible friends to follow. This time we're going to look at these two sections, the one for following back people who are following you. So in fact you can see a little red arrow here going to the left, which indicates somebody who's following you, and a grayed out arrow to the right. A green arrow to the right means that we're following that person. So let's go into this section and let's have a look. This works pretty much in a similar way to what we saw in the last section. So let's scroll down a bit here and look at the results. So we have two options again. The first is this little green guy, and then this follows that person. Or we have a grayed out person. So if we click on that one, then it ignores that person. If we don't feel any resonance with that person, then it simply ignores them. It makes a little list so that it won't suggest them to us again inside Mbono. So this is somebody who doesn't speak English. They've got up to their maximum on Twitter of around 2,000 without having 2,000 people following them back, or 1,900 people following them back. They've only got 1,000 followers. So if there was somebody we really felt a resonance with and we followed them, we'd be helping them to get into that range where they could start to grow their Twitter account. In this case, I'm simply going to click on the grey guy. Outdoor yoga and music festival. This festival has followed 1,200 people. Only 13% has followed them back. Here again we have somebody who has a tweet about dog biscuits. So one thing we can do if we're not sure and we'd like to look a little more at that account is to click on their icon, and it brings up the Twitter page into that account. So actually this account has only put out 5 tweets. It's about residual income, so I'll leave that one. And actually there seems to be a lot of people tweeting about dog biscuits, and again only 27% of the people have followed them back. So the sort of things I look for, is there a picture where you can see the person and see their face, see their eyes? Do they have a bio? Have they described themselves? We have a heart here. These are accounts that don't have a lot of followers. For holistic medicine, 78% are following back. So we'll go through this pretty quickly. You'll see in general, people that don't have bios, I don't tend to follow back. We also see that reflected in how many other people are following them back. So as you can see, we can go through this list pretty rapidly, and when we get to the bottom, then we'll see the option to look through more people on this list. Or we could look at the next section, which is suggesting people to unfollow. So this will look for people who we are following who haven't followed us back within the last few days. So it will give them enough time to follow back, and then after that it will offer us the option of unfollowing them. So let's have a look and see who's on this list. And the format here, suggested users to unfollow. I've actually got this turned on as a pro account, so it's looking if they haven't followed me for 1 day or more. For the regular Mbono Plus accounts, then it's 3 or 4 days. So the options we have are we can unfollow them by clicking on the red X and they won't be suggested again, or we can click on the green tick and that will keep them as very important people, which means we won't suggest again inside Mbono unfollowing them. You may accidentally unfollow them outside of Mbono using other tools, so I just leave people in here for as long as possible, but we'll go and clear some people out. In fact, I've left them in because I'm using Mbono Pro, and Mbono Pro will automatically go and clear out people only when it's necessary. It'll allow people to follow for as long as possible, and then only when you need to follow new people. And this is somebody I know, so I'll put her in as a VIP. In fact, we find in general that if people haven't followed you back within a few days or a week at the most, it's unlikely that they're going to follow you back. Okay, so we will work down to the bottom of this list, and that really covers this section of Mbono for today. Other than these tools at the bottom, we mentioned Twitter Counter earlier. There's a tool called Clout, which will help you to see how much influence, how much reach your Twitter account has. Follower Wonk, a tool with a funny name that helps you compare your Twitter account with that of other people. And it produces a very pretty pie chart showing who you're following and they're not following. And it allows you to have up to 3 people, you know, who's being followed by all 3 of you, and so on. And Tweepy is a tool that lets you go in and follow and unfollow people a very large number at a time, and it's particularly useful if you have a very large account. And Mbono will keep track. If you allow a few days, it will be keeping track of who you've followed and who you then unfollow with Tweepy. When you're in the early stages of building your account, then Mbono allows you to look in much more fine grain at people and really feel the connection with them. When your account gets into the thousands, then that becomes hard to do, and Tweepy can be a very useful management tool. Okay, so I'm Dr. Stephen Marcus, and once again it's been my pleasure to show you some of the features of Mbono Plus.